This is Psychic Robert James, and as you can see, it's lovely winter outside. And what am I doing outside? Well, because I'm nuts, and I love winter. And it was so gorgeous outside that I thought I would do a video and, out in nature. I love it. I can't complain. I love winter. It's my favorite time of year, even though it's pretty cold outside today. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was something that I get asked a lot, and that is, how is it that I communicate with spirits? Now, keep in mind that everyone is different. Everyone has their own way of doing things, and everyone has different abilities, different sensitivities, and different ways of communicating with spirits, depending on their experiences that they've had. So what works for me might not work for the next person, and that's all I'm trying to say. Now, as it comes for me, how it is that I communicate with spirits is, I would have to say, most of the time it is telepathically. I communicate in my head. I can see them, I can hear them, I can communicate with them telepathically in my head. How do I see them? Well, I see them as if I was standing here talking to you. That's how clear most of the time that they come through. If there's something that they're really trying to get across to me that they can't really express verbally, or would take too long, because usually communication verbally is very short. So if it's something that's longer, like explaining how they passed, or some sort of traumatic life experience, or some sort of message that they really want to get across, normally the way that would come through is more in the lines of seeing it through their eyes. And what I mean by that is I would actually be put in their shoes, as if I were them experiencing what they're going through. Now, that's all subjective, I guess you could say, because again, everyone's different. That's just one way. Another way that, if they really want to get a point across, it might be more of a feeling. I feel what they're feeling, whether it's excitement or joy or sadness, grief. If it's some sort of physical illness that they had, I might feel a pain in my chest. I might feel a pain in my stomach. It really, all depends on the situation and what they're trying to get across. But for the most part, it's telepathically. I have had it where I audibly hear them. I've actually heard them with my physical ears. I've been physically touched on more than one occasion. And for me, that's okay. The next person, they might not want to, to be touched. That might freak them out or scare them. And you know what? Again, it's all up to the person on the receiving end, and what they're comfortable with, and what they're okay experiencing. So again, it's all comes down to the individual. And I'm just explaining here what it's like for me. For the next person, it might be something different. How do I communicate back? The same way they communicate with me. I can communicate in my head, telepathically, or using my third eye, my psychic senses, whatever you want to call it. That's how, more often than not, I communicate back. Could I communicate audibly, like I'm doing with this video? Sure, I could. And a lot of times, I do. Do I have to? No, I don't really have to. It's just more of, if I'm doing a reading for a client, I would do that. But if I'm by myself personally, I don't have to. I would just communicate telepathically. So, in conclusion, more often than not, it's telepathically. You know, whether it's verbally telepathic or visually telepathic or feeling telepathic, it doesn't really matter. It's just that's how, more often than not, it comes to me. So I just want to take a couple minutes, about 5 minutes or so, to explain that. I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but you know, that's just the gist of it, and I'll leave it at that. If you have any more questions, you know, please feel free to contact me on my website, psychicrobertjames.com, or leave a comment below on this video, and I'll do a video on it. I'll try to answer it. Alright, thanks, and I wish everyone all the best.